We do a daily television show. You're watching it right now. And in the media world, whether it be television, radio, newspaper, and now internet, there's an expression: we've got to feed the beast, or the beast must be fed. What that means is that news media, especially since the advent of 24-hour news cycles, where there's just constant need for news on CNN, Fox, etc., that it's a monster that must be fed. It needs news. And you'll notice sometimes when there's a drop in things that are happening nationally or internationally that seem to be of weighty importance, that they'll do human interest stories, or they'll talk about a bear that wandered through a neighborhood, or they'll talk about some feel-good thing that happened. A little old lady who was in dire straits, some kids raised money for her and gave her this check so that she could buy tires for her car and groceries for her cupboard. The point is, the beast must be fed. And you can be a part of the feeding frenzy. Now, it's kind of a mutually abusive relationship. And let me use some of what's in the news today to make my point. How you can be involved in becoming a part of the debate, and how you can be involved in setting the debate. Edward Snowden strikes again. All right, that's one of the headlines, because he worked with the Washington Post and gave them about 160,000 emails. You can find this online. And the Washington Post was given this cache of data that the NSA was looking at. All right? They were after certain bad guys. But as they spread the net for these bad guys, they brought in, if my reading of the story is correct, over 10,000 Americans who had absolutely nothing to do with terrorism. Nothing, okay? So the NSA goes through all these emails, and some of them are of children, mommies kissing babies, some of them are love letters, some of them are about heartache, some of them are about betrayal, some of them are about illicit things, some of them are about heartbreak, poetry, mundane analysis of life, just on and on. Life online, life in cyberspace. So the NSA keeps it all. They didn't delete any of it. They read it. They showed, Snowden showed the Post how many NSA people logged on to read the private correspondence of people who had no connection whatsoever to terrorism. None. All right? This really is Big Brother. All right, so that's in the news. You'll be hearing about it on talk radio, etc. Obama is Big Brother. But it's not enough for us to wring our hands. And maybe it's not enough for you to just feel bad or even to blog, but you'd like to be somebody who's on a talk radio show or who's on your local evening news. How do you get there? Feed the beast. Give them something newsworthy. So let's just take the Snowden example. This is something you could actually do this week. If you've got a federal building in your area of any kind, or your U.S. Senator or your U.S. House member has an office, a local office, go there. All right, that's number one. Go there for 1 hour and get 6 friends. 10 would be better. 15 would be awesome. And then make signs, hand paint them, or put labels on them. But they don't have to look like the AFL-CIO produced them and they're, flawless. There's something gritty. There's something earthy about local people. So you make signs that say, Barack Obama is a traitor. The NSA is Big Brother. Stop the spying. We call on Congressman so-and-so to end PRISM. PRISM is one of the programs that is spying on all of us. So, all right, so let's say that you're going to have it on Thursday at 11 in the morning. On Wednesday morning, send out a press release to your local television stations and your local newspaper. Well, how do you do that? Call up the station. Say, could I please have the newsroom? Somebody will get on the phone and say, how can I send you a press release? And they're either going to give you an email address or a fax number. More than likely, it'll be an email address. So you send them the email that you've typed up. What does your press release say? It says, local residents gather to call on Congressman Smith to end NSA spying. all right? And that beast has to be fed. Your local news station has got to have news that night. They've got a block of time they've got to fill. And if it's a slow news day, there's not a lot of killings or bank robberies in your area, that might be just the ticket. They might say, you know what? Send people out. Let's cover this. And so you send out the press release, 200, 250 words typed out saying what you're going to do, why you're going to do it, what you want done. You send them the press release. Then 20 minutes later, you call back and say, did you get the press release? So they'll say, oh yeah, it's right here. And say, okay, well, we're going to be out there with a group of people tomorrow at Congressman so-and-so's office demanding that he vote to suspend PRISM. Hope that you can join us. And if you'll do this, and the beast needs to be fed, you can be the person on the evening news that looks into the camera and says, our government has betrayed the Constitution and is involved in illegal activities against U.S. citizens, and we want our congressman to fight to stop it. That's called a soundbite, okay? Now suddenly you're reaching 10,000 or 100,000 people in their home on the nightly news, and you are defining the debate. You are prophesying. You're being a public advocate on something that's in the news right now. And if you do it consistently, you might find yourself at the helm of an organization or an ad hoc committee in your community that's making an impact and driving the debate and spreading the truth. I'll be right back. God bless you.